Want to know what's been happening out in the Matsu Valley in regards to real estate up to the third quarter of 2023? Let's take a peek. We definitely have properties for sale, single family residences out in the valley. We have a lot of actives. We definitely have put numerous properties under contract and have sold them. So we definitely are in a robust market out in the valley in terms of single family residences. Condo townhouses, slim pickings out there. There's not a ton of them anyway, but we've had a few come on the market and they've definitely pinned it and sold. Multifamily, we have about the same amount on the market as we've actually pinned it and sold. Vacant land, there's more vacant land for sale than what we've either put under contract or sold so far this year. Now let's take a look at 2022 to 2023 in comparison to the end of September 2023. Let's look back at 2022. We sold 724 single family residences in the valley. So far this year, we've sold 543. Now, is the market completely collapsing? Absolutely not. Take a look at that. We're down a bit in overall production in regards to how many sales of single family residences, but we're not super, super low. What I think is interesting is one more condo has sold so far this year than last year. We've had fewer multifamily sales than last year, and about the same vacant land sales have occurred this year as last year in the valley. Now let's take a peek at what's going on in regards to average sales price. So it appears that the average sales price has snuck up a bit for all three categories of single family residences, condo townhouses, as well as multifamily. So if you have a home out in the valley, you'll probably get a little bit more this year than you would have last year. Multifamilies have gone up in pricing, as well as condos and townhouses have gone up just a tad. Vacant land remains the same in average price per square foot. Now, days on the market. Let's take a peek at that. So are we seeing properties stay on the market a bit longer right now? I have sellers calling me often and saying, oh my gosh, if we put the house on the market right now, how many days is it going to take to sell? They were used to watching their neighbor's house fly off the market even before it actually officially went active on the MLS. Well, right now it appears that it's taking about 39 days for a single family residence to go under contract in the valley. That's the average days on market. 6 days for a condo, 48 days for multifamily, which is more than double it was last year, and less for vacant land to go under contract than last year. Jeff Tucker, who is a senior economist at Zillow, predicted that if interest rates went above 6%, we were going to see a halt in listings. And we actually haven't seen that. We've actually seen listings come on the market. When interest rates went up over 7%, sellers still raised their hands and said, I need to sell. Home prices are back on the rise. You might have noticed earlier in the spring that home prices dropped a little bit. Well, interest rates went up in the fall of 2022, which caused home prices to drop in the spring of 2023 due to appraisals, appraisals coming in at lower values and appraisers being more cautious in over appraising a property because interest rates were going up and we had such a low inventory. Right now, we are seeing home prices continue to stay where they were and going up actually on a little bit of a rise. And we'll look at that here in just a few minutes. Today's housing market has only half the usual inventory in the United States. We just look to see that we are definitely down in sales. We are definitely down in sales in all areas, except for condos. We sold one more condo out in the valley quarter over quarter. But the housing inventory is definitely low, which always makes it a seller's market. So when was it a buyer's market? I have the question all the time. Okay, so interest rates are now over 7%. It's a buyer's market. What determines a seller's market or buyer's market? What determines what type of market is the months of inventory of homes for sale. And so in 2006 to 2010, we saw a buyer's market. We had way more inventory on the market, which meant that we had an absorption rate of over 7 months. Today, we remain in a seller's market. We have been in a seller's market for the past 10 years. And due to lack of construction, new home construction over the last 14 years, plus low inventory on the market, we will remain in a seller's market despite rising interest rates. Now, why do sellers want to move? Why do they move? Well, here are the top 5 reasons that sellers moved. They want to move closer to their friends and family. Moving due to retirement. A lot of people are retiring here in Alaska, and they're ready to leave the state for the winter, go check some things out, come back next summer, put their house on the market, and figure out where they want to retire to. Sometimes neighborhoods are becoming less desirable because maybe the kids have grown up now, they're going to a different school, their jobs have changed at home. Maybe now I can work at home and I need more of a place to go to a park every day. So neighborhoods become less desirable due to lifestyle choices. I hear this all the time. My house is way too small. We have a lot of multi-generational families right now, and we have a lot of grandparents moving in with the parents and the kids. And so they're all living under one household, which really makes a house feel very tight. So I'm getting a lot of those requests right now. Will this house allow me to put a mother-in-law apartment downstairs in the basement? So that is a multi-generational house where we need an extra space for an older family member to hang out and stay at home. Kids are staying in the basement a lot longer. Adult children are staying home longer due to rising rent cost and the rising cost of purchasing a home. So we definitely are seeing the size of a home get smaller for a lot of people, and that's a big reason sellers move. Another reason sellers move is they have a change in a family situation. Either they get married and they want to combine households, or unfortunately they get divorced and they need to separate households. Now, mortgage rates. In January, I did the slide with the predictions based on these famous economists and Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae and all the guys that predicted interest rates would be around 6.5% this year. Well, according to this chart, which is based on the third quarter of 2023, interest rates were over 7%. Again, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are predicting that they're going to go down. No one has a crystal ball, so I am not really convinced that they're going to go down. We will just have to wait and see. So, when is a good time to purchase a house? Is the day you decide to purchase a house. You don't marry your interest rate, so don't worry about it. You can purchase in this higher interest rate market. Your payment's just going to be higher than it was years ago. And if you look, you'll see that we were in a low interest rate for a long time. And so that was part of the pandemic years where interest rates were abnormally low. And so now interest rates are hovering at around 8%. Are they really going to go down to 6.3, 5.5? Again, no one has a crystal ball. We'll just have to wait and see what they look like. Now, who are the bulk of the sellers right now? Interestingly enough, did you know that 77% of home sellers right now are empty nesters? They have no children at home. 77%. So when you're looking at the inventory right now, that might give you a little tip as to why some of those houses might seem and look dated, because they've lived in that house for the last 30, 40 years and they loved it. They didn't need to make updates. They didn't need to make changes to it. They loved it. Now they've either retired, moved out of state to be closer to family and friends, and their house is on the market. Cosmetically, it might need some enhancing, but overall, you have to check and make sure that the seller is taking care of the non-sexy stuff, the roof, the hot water heater, the furnace or the boiler, and the foundation and the windows. So take a peek at those non-sexy stuff, but it's easy to fix up a house and change out flooring and paint walls and even paint cabinets a different color. So if you're seeing on the inventory right now, either brand new construction in the valley or dated homes, it's because 77% of home sellers are empty nesters. Do not expect a wave of foreclosures. I have no idea who started that rumor in the media, but it's actually false. We are not going to see a flood of foreclosures, and here's why. Pre-pandemic, 4% of the sales were foreclosures. Now, what happened during the pandemic? We had a moratorium on foreclosures because courts were closed. So consequently, investors set on properties all through those pandemic years. Now, once the pandemic was over, courthouses became open. All those foreclosures that had been sitting there for over 2 years actually popped out of the courthouse and were available to the investor to be able to take over and sell. We're not seeing a huge wave of short sales. Why? Because properties have continued to appreciate. So consequently, somebody who might not be able to make their mortgage payment right now due to a job loss or something going on in their family, they can still sell their property without having to do it via a short sale. A short sale is when you sell a property that you owe more on the property than what you're able to get from a buyer for it. And the bank considers that a short sale, that you're not able to pay the note off in full. So right now, as of the end of August, only 1% of our whole entire market in the United States was made up of foreclosures. I sell foreclosures. I do broker price opinions for many investors nationwide. Pre-pandemic in January 2020, I was seeing at least 10 to 12 requests a week. Now I might see 3 if I'm lucky. So do I think there's going to be a wave of foreclosures coming on the market? No, I do not believe that's true. If you have questions and you've been thinking about buying or selling and you live out in the valley and you have some questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can call me, you can email me, you can text me. I'd be happy to chat with you and find out about what your home journey looks like right now or your selling journey. Give me a call. I look forward to hearing from you.